Jomboy had a phenomenal breakdown of this on YouTube back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Jomboy?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. And I'm glad that you want to chat about it because
damn straight.
Nobody wants to talk about this.
Why? Why?
I don't know. I mean, I usually have a lot of baseball reporters or, quote unquote verified people in the baseball world share the breakdowns, comment on them, and this one got like nothing. No one wants to touch it.
Is it because everybody's doing it? Is that why maybe?
Yeah. It's because the players haven't actively come out and said, we don't like this until this season. And it's the first time, and I think, you listen to the players, and there's some players now, and now a manager on record saying it's cheating and we don't like it, and that voice is going to grow louder, and then hopefully people care. But for right now, no one seems to care.
I'm stunned. So honestly, and I've been around long enough to be hard bitten or completely immune to seeing stuff that just makes you shocked. I mean, I was sitting on SportsCenter set during the steroid era, and so now this kind of just surprises me because it's affecting the game. It's affecting forget about pace of play. You want to spice things up. How about getting this crap off of people's hands that makes the spin rates turn the baseballs into being unhittable? What is the stuff that you think is on the baseballs, Jomboy?
There's a lot now. Like on the Chris Rose show, Baralt and Trevor Williams said some guys are using like ceramic cement.
What?
I know Bauer had talked about firm grip and pine tar and rosin, and I even heard like boiled in Coca-Cola till it's hard. Pelican grip is now basically it is what it is. One of those concoctions that they sell now. It's called Pelican grip, and it's just like glue. And the big difference is, it's not for grip; it's for spin. I think that's the easiest way to let people know this is different than what we've really dealt with in the past, where a lot of times it is for grip, and batters always said, well, I don't care if he needs a better grip. I'd rather him throw it in the zone than out of the zone.
Right.
But what happened was, it's really interesting, kind of fascinating story of the development of this, because in the early 2000s, the Angels kind of developed it. Well, or maybe it was Troy Percival told the Angels clubby how to make it. But they didn't have the high resolution spin rate cameras then. So I don't think they had the combination of like, oh, this leads to this, because they didn't have the tech and people weren't counting spin rate. Mm-hmm. They just thought, he's got a jackrabbit fastball or late life. But now that we're getting these formulas and concoctions, plus the ability to throw a pitch with it on your fingers, off your fingers, and see the instant difference, it's going crazy because every pitcher is saying, whoa, it's an instant fix.
You watch more baseball than anybody that maybe I know of, Jomboy, and break it down. I mean, you're also one of the world-class lip readers of all time. It's impressive how you can read all the lips that you do. So when I'm watching a game, what should I look for from a pitcher to know something's up? What do I see?
After a foul ball. So after every foul ball, watch where the pitcher's hand goes, because that means he's getting a new ball that hasn't been doctored yet.
Right.
So, usually it's the inside of the glove. They used to hide it more and go, brim of the hat. A lot of people do that. But now, because they kind of free range this season to do it, and I think the broadcast showed Karinchak on the Indians last night going to the glove, and it's really in the thumb of the glove. You'll see them go. But it's whenever they get a new ball in play. So after a home run or a foul balls are the easiest. And you'll be able to tell. And I like what Schilt said when he said, watch people who lick their fingers, because those guys aren't putting the stuff on the ball if they're licking their fingers. I like that note.
So is it clear? Is that why you can't, like, what does it look like? Have you seen what it looks like, Jomboy? Whatever this stuff is?
I think there's all different kinds. Karinchak's was like black yesterday. So I don't know if there's a consistent color.
Well, I guess it's not consistent that it works, because Karinchak was getting his ass handed to him in the ninth inning last night, Jomboy, before he got the final out. I mean, he was that thing was blown to bits. Shane Bieber's win was almost out the window. So I guess it's not guaranteed to always work, I imagine. If you're saying that's what was happening.
Just improve your fastball, but you gotta have some skill already. I think it's just like corking a bat. You can you can swing one bat and make great contact, and it will go this distance. And then you can, in batting practice, you can switch bats, have the same swing, and it will go a different distance. That's what this is. You can throw one fastball, it'll have this spin rate, and then you can dip your fingers into your glove and throw the next fastball, and now you've improved your fastball. And you didn't have to train in between or do anything different. You're just changing the equipment, really.
Well, I guess Jomboy of Jomboy Media here on the Rich Eisen Show. I guess we're now treading into the waters. Why I think maybe some people don't want to talk about it is because, just because somebody's going to a glove doesn't mean that's what they're doing. I mean, we just basically accused the closer of the Indians last night of putting this gunk on his hands. And is it always, a slam dunk case when you see that happening, that this is what is in fact happening in Major League Baseball, Jomboy?
Well, I don't know. No, probably not. I guess I shouldn't sit here and say that it's a slam dunk case, and yes, he's using it. But my guess would be that it's something. I think majority of pitchers put stuff on the ball, and I think I would say almost all are going to either use the rosin and the sweat or something to get more grip. I think it's the scraping the two fingers in this new concoction. I would say it's still I would say I think even Bauer or someone said it's 6 out of 10 pitchers, 7 out of 10, and then probably 10 out of 10. What you can look for is if a guy ever rubs his forearm. I mean that's sunscreen and rosin mixture that they're getting there, which can just give you overall a better feel for the baseball. But that's been, technically is. I don't know. Technically, is illegal or legal? Because everyone says, well, they're just two things that you have on your body. You're not going to be able to police that. And no one seems to care about that. So I don't know if you can say, yeah, he went to his glove or went to his hat. It's this new stuff that is instant cheating or whatever, but you can guess they're doing something.
Let's just say this then, Jomboy here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's just say what is going on with baseballs and those who are using it to pitch and creating a spin rate that is not usually something that they could do just with their own talents, then the shift, then the concept that so many hitters are being sent to the plate without a sensibility of making contact or a shame of striking out. Is this why we're seeing so many no-hitters in so many innings where there are no balls put into play? Is that what are we seeing this right here, Jomboy? Is that what it is?
And then the biggest factor is that MLB deadened the balls this season, and they made it public. They announced that they were going to do it because the ball was juiced in 2019. We saw so many home runs, the most amount of home runs per game ever, I think, in 2019, broke all sorts of records. And they wanted to get away from that because they think the home run isn't in a lot of action. And they thought that taking the home run out would bring more doubles and base hits and batters would change their approach. But what they did, they deadened the ball. So it's lighter, it spins more out of the pitcher's hands, and it is softer off the bat. So that, plus giving carte blanche to all the pitchers to use this substance because they told them that they're going to, take balls out of games and send them to a lab, but they're not. You won't get punished. We're just doing research. So now you have a deadened ball and pitchers not scared to be doctoring the balls with this new concoction. So, yeah, that's why we have so many no-hitters.
Okay, and so what do you think is going on with the baseball front office then? Because the people that I know there, the last thing they want is cheating, and the last thing they want is anybody having a conversation like this. They'd much rather us talk about how great Ohtani is and Tatis and, Acuna. I could go down the list, and they are worthy of having a conversation. But why would they why would they let this go? And no wonder Schilt goes crazy when Joe West is like, yeah, change your hat. You know what I mean? Now that makes complete sense that he's flipping out when they go to his pitcher and say, change your hat. What do you think is happening here? What's happening?
MLB culture forever has been keep everything within the walls of baseball. And if it leaks, then we'll let it leak for 3 years. And then if people get really upset, maybe we'll do something about it, or maybe we'll give it another 5 years and then we'll do something about it. But I don't know. And the baseball thing, it's just ineptitude. There's a scientist out there, Dr. Meredith Wills, who does a lot of research on this, and we had her on our show. Mm-hmm. And, they got juiced in 2017, and we saw a home run surge. They went back to somewhat normal in 18. In 2019, they were incredibly juiced. If you go back to 2014, it was a dead ball. It was like the least amount of home runs per game since 1981. So in the last, decade, we've had so many different products of baseballs, which is the main equipment of the sport. And golf is very tight with their ball, with what's allowed and what's not. And I don't think it's on purpose. I don't think that baseball juiced the balls. I think the story was they changed manufacturers and they got wound tighter. And then they did admit to dejuicing them and trying to deaden them. And the desired result was more action, and it's led to a lot less action. So that's also a story. Like, I know that story came out on The Athletic, and then The Athletic wrote about this new sticky stuff.
Right. And
I think everyone thought people were going to care, but nobody seems to care about these two things that are drastically affecting the product.
Then last thing for you, what about the players? Again, your media group and the shows that you put on have tons of players, and players watch your stuff, and players respect your stuff. I mean, I saw Chris Rose at the draft, with NFL Network. He loves doing the show that he's doing for you and Jomboy Media and with you guys. And the players that come on, you even said you had a couple talk about this. Do they like it? What are the hitters thinking? I mean, I can imagine certain hitting coaches must be looking across at the pitchers in their locker room and just say, do you see what's going on with the hitters on this team? I mean, do you see what's going on with my ass is on the line? You know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering what are the players thinking about all of this?
Yeah, I think it's always been hard because every hitter shares a locker room with a pitcher who's probably doing something. I think the vast majority and the main names in the Cardinals rotation don't use this new concoction and are proud that they don't. And they don't like being lumped in when people say everybody does it. And I think that, Schilt said he talked to his guys before going public. So I'm guessing they gave him the okay. And it was probably more than an okay. It was probably like, please say something. We've had players reach out that know Trevor or know me, asking to, hey, can you guys talk about this? Because some hitters are getting sick of it. And now we had Real Muto go on the record in the Athletic article, a catcher. If anyone, he touches every ball thrown, basically, he would know. And, he catches them from his pitching staff, so it's a very interesting dynamic. But he went on record saying, I want it to stop. So it's starting to get louder from the players. But I think for a while it was, I share a locker room with a guy that's also doing this. So I don't want to piss him off.
I mean, Schilt, what he had to say couldn't have been more behind the scenes, right? He couldn't have lifted the kimono anymore with his post-game comment, right?
Yeah. No, I think, I think the Athletic article with the Real Muto and the Duvall quotes came out. Rosenthal and Garelli wrote that one. I think it came out like a week before. So this is like a slow build, and finally that's why I said, all right, I'll make a video on it and try to explain this and get it as, dumb it down as best as possible. But we'll see. Still seems like no one cares.
Well, at least we're talking about it. Before I let you go, how concerned about the Yankees are you?
Pretty concerned. Pretty concerned. They can't hit. I mean, they're bottom 5 in offense, and the other teams in the bottom 5 are the Pirates, the Orioles, and the Royals, I believe. No, not the Royals. It's like the Diamondbacks or another team that's not trying. The Yankees are actively trying.
They are trying, and that's all that They used to have half a dozen LeMahieus, Jomboy, that could do everything and put the ball in play. And the years when they won all those World Series, they weren't leading. They didn't have any leaders, singular leaders, pretty much in home runs. And that's how they beat you. They got the lead by putting the ball in play, putting the pressure on the opposition, and then sending Rivera out there when it came time to shorten the game. And it's just I don't recognize it. I just don't recognize it.
Torrey came over and he implemented the stolen base and hit and runs and using speed. And this team is the slowest team in all of baseball, and they get thrown out in the base paths twice a game.
Jomboy, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Everyone should check out your breakdown on the subject matter that we just broke down over the last 15 minutes. Appreciate the call, man.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. That's Jomboy of Jomboy Media. Check out everything that he puts out there. It's real. It's real. It's real, real, real. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.